Now, if you are right-handed, it would be best to develop the left hand for cueing, like we did here, right? It's not necessary to develop both hands for cueing. In other words, it's not necessary to become ambidextrous as a conductor. You don't have to. That's a separate ability, and it's an extra bunch of effort. If you want to. A lot of symphony conductors go through their entire careers doing all their cueing and everything like this. This is the beat pattern hand, and they're doing all this and doing that. Some work both ways. Whatever. They can switch, but it's not necessary. So it's best to develop one thing at a time, needless to say. Okay, now if we look at the examples I have, example number 1, you'll see that it's just like all the others. There are 8 bars in length, and they've got the slash marks. The bars are numbered. But on the top space of the staff, you'll see the note to be cued at the point that needs to be cued. Now that's when I said when you have an imaginary setup, you decide each time you go through that example and that exercise, you decide who's going to get that cue this time. Will it be the trumpets? Will it be a flute? Will it be the whole violin section? Whatever it is, you change it each time so that you have to plan ahead, and because when you look up, you want to be looking right at the person to be cued, or persons. Now, generally speaking, usually, you address yourself to the principal player in each section. You address yourself to the concert master for the violins and strings, generally. First trumpet player for the brass, first trombone player if it's just trombones, lead alto if it's that, or the individual players, but happens to be oboe and it's on a different chair, flute, and so forth and so on. But generally you address yourself to the principal players. Now if you have the time as you achieve more proficiency, you can address yourself to the whole section. Once you get to it, you can go, okay, you ready? I went to the principal player first, generally, and then I just checked everybody else. And that's just a matter of thinking on your feet and being proficient enough at it and relaxed enough to be able to do this. Now, at a decent tempo, if we pick a slow enough tempo,
every section have a principal.
there's always the first saxophone player, the first trumpet player, the first trombone player, the first something. Somebody's playing first. If it's an ensemble, if it's an entire ensemble with brass and saxes, in our business, you address yourself to the trumpet, because the first trumpet player is the kingpin. The rest of them are supposed to follow him. If it's trombones and saxes, and trombones are lead, you go to the first trombone player. Sometimes it's the saxes and trombones, but the saxes are leading the trombones. They're underneath. You go to the first saxophone player and cue that, because they're supposed to listen to the lead player. You know, if you heard the old thing about section play, all you just follow the lead player. It's a standard gag amongst players anyway. When something goes wrong, I don't know, I just follow the lead player. Okay, so as I said, if we have just 4/4, this is going to keep going, because we're only going to do our cueing with the other hand, right? If you happen to be right-handed. I'm going to go like that. All right, now the left hand, as I said, how long does it take to prepare a player for a cue? It depends on how long it takes to communicate with that player. Now in this case, so that we all understand that we're all doing it identically the same, I'm going to say, till you hear differently, 2 beats. 2 beats ahead of the cue is when you will prepare the player. Now this is, I'm going to slow this down a little bit because I want you to hear exactly what happens. We want this hand, first of all, to prepare the player by eyeballing them, looking right in it, and with that finger, prepare them. Then, as I said, everything has to be prepared. So it's the and or taking a breath. So if I'm going to prepare the player, yes, that preparation beat is and play. Now there are 2 ways of cueing, 2 basic ways. One of them is a direct cue, and that's just pointing a finger straight at you. 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 Now, it looks intimidating, but I'm telling you, it's helpful. And players, when they get into tight spots, they want authority. They really want it. So it would look like this if the cue was on 1, this hand would be doing this, like 1, 2, ready, and play. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, ready, and play. Here's the preparation, and play. Because the player will take a breath. They go, ba. On that preparation, that's when they take their breath. So if you take a breath or say the word and, you're going to be far more accurate. So I have a cue on every other measure in this first example. So it would look like this. 1, 2, here we go. 1, 2, ready and play. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, ready and play. 2, 3, 4. Very much. 5, 2, ready and play. 2, and then we have a retard in bar 7, which we're used to doing now. 2, 3, 4, hold. Now, as I said, there are 2 ways of cueing, 2 basic ways. That's the direct cue, where you literally look at somebody, prepare them, and point right at them. You, right? You. The other way is using the conducting pattern for a more gentle. For instance, if someone has a very beautiful and lovely entrance, they don't want to see that. Right? They don't want to see that. So you want, now I'm showing you variations. Remember, I haven't been showing you any, I've been showing you one thing at a time. Now we're starting to bend a little bit, and I'm showing you variations of ways of doing things. This one you need the direct cueing, and the other one is the beat pattern, which would be just, we have the beat pattern, 3, 4, see, that mine wouldn't stop. It's going like this. What would this hand do right here on 1? And 1, right? 3, and 1. Really? On the 4th beat. 4 and 1. So dig this. 3, 4. 1, 2. Ready, and play. 2. Just use the beat pattern, see? 1, 2, ready, prepare, 1, 2, 3. So, that's what I mean. There's 2 basic ways, right? We have and play. 2 or 3, 4, 1, 2, ready, and play. I give a regular preparation as in the beat pattern, but I prepared the player first, or players, and then gave a regular beat pattern. So you see how important it is, getting even back to the pickups, how important it is you have to learn to do the pickups correctly anyway, with or without a count off, because this hand has to do it anyway. Has to. Or you're going to have the same problems all over again with everybody coming in strange, or definitely pulling the green eye shade down deep, far over their faces so they can't see you. And they'll never look up again. And they remember. They can see you 6 months from now and say, oh, I remember him, I ain't going to watch. Now, you might be 6 months better as a conductor, but you got to have to prove yourself, because they're going to remember you. And they're going, I'm not going to watch him. Or her. They're not going to watch because they remember. You really, I swear to you. See, players, nobody hears these mistakes, you know. Nobody hears those mistakes. But they hear these, and these, and these. So if anybody's in jeopardy, they're not going to watch it. Because they don't want to make a mistake. No player wants to make a mistake, ever, in their whole lives. It's just nobody's figured out how to do that. But if you're going to jeopardize them, they're not going to watch. So you really have to earn that. You have to earn that respect, that they will watch you. But it sure pays off. Because then you can just write your tail off, and you know you're going to conduct it, and they're going to play it. It's marvelous. That's when it really shows up. All right. Even on example 1, the 8th bar not only has a hold on 1, it also has a cue on that top space. Aha! So when we get to bar 7, there's retard. 1 and 2 and ready and hold and cue at the same time. And then this, once I've cued the player or players, this hand comes back into the hold signal to include everyone for a cutoff. See the logic of it? You take each signal in the order of its importance. So that first example looks like this. 1, 2, ready, and play. 2. I'll use the other way of doing it. 1, two, ready, and play. 2, 3. We'll alternate. 1, 2, ready, and play. Now we have a retard. We have a cue coming up. 1 and 2 and ready and play. Everybody ready now for the cutoff? So, as I verbalize my mental thoughts and my hands translated that into those signals. Because that's my job. That's what I'm supposed to do on my instrument.